So it's been a long time coming on bringing you guys this rifle. I may have 1,200 rounds through this, so this is one of my personal weapons. And it's probably one of my favorite weapons that I have. It is a little unwieldy as far as running and gunning. You know, I like to run and gun, but stationary shooting, I don't think that I can get anything better than this unless I go high end, which I do have something coming. You guys will see that later on, maybe a little while, but you will see it. But for now, this is my DMR and it is my Spikes Tactical. So I finally got down to the range, able to get footage of this beautiful rifle.
Hello.
Nah, it hit.
It is? Oh, I didn't see the
I'm a good orange, small orange. Now green. And now I'm going yellow. Which that is 400.
Yeah, 400. Yeah.
Alright. Yeah, 500.
That's blue, right?
Yeah. Got 2 rounds. See if I can get it done in 2 rounds.
I have had this for going on well over 4 years now. So like I said, I put a ton of rounds through this thing. A ton of work has went into it, tuning it, getting it dialed in to where I want it and my specifications on what I need. So I didn't put, this is the only thing I didn't put a lot of money in, which is my bipod. So it is a Caldwell bipod. It works for what it is. So we're gonna go tip to butt. This is, like I said, this is a full Spikes Tactical build. Everything on it as far as the firearm and working components is Spikes Tactical. So this is a 24-inch bull barrel spiral rifle barrel, and it's a 1-in-8 twist 5.56. So it is tuned for 55 grain, and it is a rifle length. It is a rifle length gas system on here. So the gas system starts here, runs all the way back. So you can see how long that is. That's probably 16, yeah, almost 16 inches of gas tube. So she is tuned, and it is very light shooting and light recoiling. Spikes Tactical handguards, custom spider web all the way up and down. Three nuts on each side. And this, like I said, this lower has the American flag engraved on it here and on the dust cover. You might be able to see it here, but it is. And this is the Hellbreaker lower. So the Hellbreaker is one of many custom lowers. You have the Hellbreaker, the Warthog, or whatever it may be. These are all very high-end rifles. To put it together, whenever I first got it, you were looking at, with everything on it, you were looking at right at 22 to 2,300 bucks on it. I don't know if you can source it now. I haven't looked up the price, but I'm probably sure it's probably around 3 grand now to build this rifle. I may be wrong. Some people can probably find it cheaper, but a rifle such as this, the barrel alone runs right at 850 to 900 bucks on it. If I told you what I paid for it, you wouldn't believe it. But like I say, I do have a decent amount of money in it now. So it has a JP silent capture spring. see if we can do this. So it's a JP silent capture spring. JP silent capture spring in it. And it looks almost like a stock mil-spec trigger, but it's not. It doesn't have any play at all. So you can see that's a safe. This is fire. So it doesn't have any play at all. So there's no play. That is the fire. And that's a reset. Like it's crazy because it feels on the inside, you can hear the positive reset. It sounds almost like a mil-spec trigger, but it's not. I don't know what kind of trigger this is. All I know, it is insane. Like I said, it's skeletonized. It's insane. I looked on the Spikes Tactical website. I didn't see that trigger there, but it is insane, and it does give you insane accuracy. I have taken this thing out to 600 yards. I didn't get into that on film, but I have taken it out to 500. And the first time that I actually took it out to distance at my local range, I had an issue with the barrel nut. The barrel nut backed off and it just killed my accuracy. So I took it back to my mom's house the next day, tightened the barrel down and resighted it in, and it printed sub MOA.
Oh, that's connect. Did you see where it's hitting? Same spot I've been in. See where she hitting at 200. grain? 300. 300 is no problem with this thing. I don't know. That weird.
So when I got back out to the range, I redid it on steel and redid 2 more accuracy tests using a variety of loads. Can't remember what it is offhand, but it is in the video and I explained it. But I do know all of them are 55 grain. So this will be the accuracy portion of the Spikes Tactical 24-inch bull barrel. This is a full custom built rifle. Everything on it is Spikes Tactical except for the PRS stock and the charging handle. And we have a 4-16 SH4 Gen 2. This is an Arkin Optics 4-16 Gen 2. So we'll see what kind of group we can print out. So I have 4 different types of ammo. I have PMC X-Tac, PMC X-Tac, Normal Tactical 55 grain. Everything is 55 grain. And the Sierra Match Canes, these are the Hollow Point Boat Tails, and Gecko. Everything is 55 grain. The Gecko is 5.56. Let me get one more round. I miscounted. Next up, the Gecko. 5 rounds of Gecko. I don't know if you can see it, but it is a Gecko ammo. Like I said, everything is 55 grain. Next up, Normal Tactical.
And last, Sierra Match. This is some expensive ammo. I'm gonna say it's like $25 a box for 25 rounds from where I'm getting it from. And maybe a little cheaper online if I shop around. See what kind of results we get out of this. This barrel is optimized for 55 grains. So that's what it has on there. So that's what I shoot out of it. I don't squeeze anything heavier out of it, which I could probably squeeze a little more accuracy out of it. And I'll go to the 67s, 69s. But like I said, this is a 1-8 twist rifle. So I just keep it as is. Yeah. So it's calling for 55 grain 5.56. So 223s, not much difference, but we'll see what we get out of it. Last set. All right, so let's go down and take a look at that. So like I said, this is just a quick review and overview of this rifle. Again, I wish I could have gotten everything on camera that day because we had some very good hits all the way out to 600 that day. I actually had my wife running it. She ran it out to 600 successfully with me calling it. So it's a little hard to hit out at those distances when you don't have a spotter. So I think I did pretty decent today. If I did, hit that comment, constructive criticism, hit that like and share, and follow this channel for more content like this.
So like I said, I don't run anything else. I have a few self-defense rounds that are 69s, 70s, and at my local gun shop, Pawnbrokers in Clinton, North Carolina. That's where I get a lot of my self-defense rounds from. They actually have like some 61s, I believe. I'm not sure what the other weights are. I know it's 77s, and a lot of those are red tips. Some of them are VMAX. Depending on what it is, they actually have a variety of loads. So like I say, if you're in the area, go pop by and check those guys out. They always look out for me, and they look out for the customers, and they make sure your well-being and your money is spent in the right spots, in the right places. And I say, back to this, everything I use in this rifle is optimized for 55 grains, nothing more, nothing less. Any other rifle, I run heavier weights. Taking this rifle out to distance is a Arkin Optics 4-16 by 50, and it is in the Arkin Optics 20 MOA scope mount. It is zeroed for 100 yards. And when I'm shooting out to distance, I don't use the dials. I never dial. I always use my holdovers. It's quicker for me.
I'm back out here again with the spikes. The previous videos that we shot with this, we had a little issue with the barrel nut. And I was wondering why my accuracy dipped off and diminished to complete trash. I couldn't even hit the 200-yard mark. So I'm back out again after I tightened the nut back down and re-zeroed. It should be back on point. So we're gonna try to run this thing out to 500. And we're only gonna use these 4 magazines that we got. If we can't connect, we just can't connect. We have some of the calmest weather out that I've been out here since. So there's 0 wind. It's just a little warm. Pretty good bit of humidity. We're gonna start out with this 10 rounder. Like I said, this thing has a Swamp Fox 1-10 on it. It is a 24-inch barrel, 5.56 printed barrel. So we're gonna see what this thing actually does now that it's tightened down to spec and I think the performances should be outstanding. It's showing it on paper, but we're gonna find out what it's gonna actually do. So let's light it up. First one, we're gonna do 2 shots per target. So first target is gonna be the 200, so that's the orange. And we're not gonna let the barrel cool down. We're just gonna run it as is. That's 200, 300. It's 2 soft connects. Let's adjust our camera for 400. So that little yellow speck that you can see out there, that's actually the 400 mark. I can't remember my dope on it, but I think I should be holding a little over 2 mils up. So we should be able to connect dead onto that. Yep. Yep. So that's 400. Adjust again to move back out to 500. $500 is blue, so let's send her on out. And I think this should be 4.5 mils. Connect. Let's connect. 600. If I'm not mistaken, this should be 6 mils. And this is the red plate, well, the orange plate's all the way back. Getting a slight breeze now. All right, so we're not gonna mess around with that anymore. We know it's totally capable of pushing out the 500, and you've seen that. So now we're gonna go back to the precision targets on each one of them all the way out. So let's go back, and we're already on 200. So we're gonna push out on those now. Like I said, this is going real time. This barrel is heating up. So I wanna show exactly what you get when you're paying that 2K to 3K price tag for these precision gas rifles. 300. So we're gonna skip 400, push right out to 5. Because I can't see, it's too much grass to see the 400. So hopefully we can hit the 500 precision target. Ooh, that's gonna be hard, fellas. And by the way, I am using PMC X-Tac 55 grains. That's a connect. That's another connect. So this rifle is very capable of pushing out to 500 yards. Like I said, it is a sub MOA rifle at 100. It just proved it again. I think that these Spike Tacticals are very good value for what you're getting. Performance to pay, like I always say. You're getting a lot of performance for what you're paying for this. This is in the right hands of the right shooter. I believe this thing could push out to 800, 900, 1,000 yards, no problem. Getting the correct chronograph, the correct dope, and the correct shooter, and the correct climate, I don't think you'll have any problem with the performances out of this, pushing out to 1,000 yards and beyond. Like I said, the last time that I chronographed it with these 55 grain PMC X-Tacs, it was running a little over 3,200 feet per second. So this is a very flat shooting rifle. Especially that barrel length just gives it a crazy amount of velocity. So like I said, you're getting your price to performance out of this rifle. So we'll go back out and we'll finish off. Like I said, it only took me 2 magazines to run that out there like that. So we'll finish up these other magazines. I know it's gonna get hot. I hope it doesn't do anything to my barrel life, but like I said, it's a Spike, so this thing should be built to last. It should be built like a tank. Back out to 200. We're just gonna stay here and we're just gonna light that 200 up. 200 to 300. Go back to the precision on 200. Let's see if we can hit 200 and 500. There it goes. I want to try 600 one more time. There you have it. Like I said, this Spike, it's a crazy rifle. I love it. Next to the Noveski This has got to be one of the most durable, accurate rifles that I've ever come across, that I've laid my hands on. Radiant Raptor charger on this model. Like I said, the spikes upper and lower, everything is matching on this. I just rattle canned it. Magpul, you got your Magpul grip, and you got your Magpul stock. It's adjustable. Forgot what model this is. Like I say, everything on this is all spikes. Everything, internals, all of it. One of the best rifles that I've had as far as gas guns. I don't have any, well, I have one bolt gun, but it's a hunting gun, so it's not necessarily a precision gun. This is my precision rifle.
It's a lot quicker for me to use the holdovers. I don't dial anything. I don't want to mess anything up. When I set it there, that's what it is. I'm learning to dial now, so I haven't done anything as far as chronographing my rounds in order to get the maximum data out of it, but I'm working towards that to become a better shooter. Like I said, this thing paired up, everything just matches up and meshes so well on this firearm. Barrel, the hand guards, free float hand guards, the scope, and this baby right here. Fully adjustable. PRS-3, I believe. These are retailing for around 300 bucks, I believe. And like I say, just fully adjustable. Back, cheek mount. Leave that back where it's at. Like I say, if you're a taller person, you're going prone, you can always adjust everything on this. It's a fully adjustable stock. It's minimal. I like all of my firearms to be minimal. There are no rails on here whatsoever. It's sleek, and that's what I love about it. It's very streamlined. It is a little heavy. The last time I weighed it, it was like 14 pounds unloaded. So if you think about it, you put a 30 round, 50 round drum in here, you are going to be toting a massive firearm, and you won't be able to do it for long unless you're in very good shape. And I can tell you this, I'm not in the best of shape to be lugging around something like this. So you're looking at something, if you put that kind of ammo into it, you're looking at a 20-pound weapon. No one wants to be carrying that around. This is a stationary DMR, and that's what it is. Could it fit in the role of room clearing and running good? Yes, possibly, with enough training. But for me, for what I do and for what I use it for, shit is top notch. This is my first Gucci AR, and pretty much all of my ARs that I have, which I've taken it out now in order to clean them, but I keep an extra bolt and two rounds of 5.56. You never know when you're going to need them. But that's in every AR that I have. 7.62, 5.56, 300 blackout. All of them have a bolt in them. You never know. That's the only thing. That's a lot of what's going to fail on your AR. As long as you're not using a lot of heavy fire, your gas tube is pretty much bomb proof. Everything else is pretty much bomb proof on here. As long as you, and another thing that I've actually had fail, that's why I took and put Radiant Raptors on everything that I have. The charging handles. Please don't go out and get those eBay charging handles. They are 20 bucks. They're going to fail. You get 50 to 100 rounds in, they're going to fail. Take it to a course that you're going to go on in order to get better and proficient. They're going to fail. When you start getting up to those high round counts, they're going to pop. Believe me, I know. I was once in those same shoes of getting that cheap stuff, and it's no good. Buy once, cry once. Get high quality gear. I can understand you're going out to find out what you want. After you experiment and find out what you want, If you don't have high-end funds to buy once, cry once, you learn your lesson, improve from it, buy quality gear. I am a proponent of buying budget to performance, and as long as it's quality budget stuff, just don't go out buying a lot of cheap willy-nilly stuff just because it's cheap and it's no name to it. Do your own research on it. Find out if it fits your needs. And it's another thing that I forgot to mention. It was a little weird. It was a little weird when I got it. I didn't know what to think about this thing. So you have that. And then she goes back to the full auto position. It's not a full auto. It just has that low, it's a lower shelf AR. So a lot of times you're getting into the higher end rifles, you're gonna get that lower shelf. Like I said, you can see there are no third pins in here. So don't put me on any kind of list. This is not a full auto firearm. There are no third pins. There are no third pins in here. Please don't put me on any kind of list. Like I said, I'll show you guys again. There's safety. That would be the full auto position. Fire. No third pin. But like I said, this scope and this scope it works pretty well. You got big knobs here. It is zero lump. It's not gonna move, but you have some very good audible clicks on this thing, and it is illuminated. It is illuminated, and only the crosshair is illuminated. It is a second focal plane, so the reticle does blow up and get bigger the more you zoom in. It has a decent eyeball. The scope is Chinese glass, but it does give a very good quality on what you're seeing. 4-16 is well enough to stretch out to 800, 1,000 yards. And for what I'm running at 600, you can literally see everything there. So that is no problem in seeing the 600. 100 to 600, you're golden, you're spot on. This is probably the biggest scope that you can put on this thing, because like I said, you're not going to shoot past 800 yards with this rifle, although I'm pretty sure you will get a very good ballistics out of it due to that 24-inch barrel. Yeah, I only shoot 55 grain out of here, so the wind will probably take it. It will be vastly affected by the wind at 500, 600 yards. If you're not shooting on a calm day, be prepared to do your holdovers. And most of the time when I'm running this rifle, I'm running the PMag 10 rounders. It takes any magazine and spits it out. When you have a high quality rifle like this, it tends to feed a lot of full magazines with no problems. When you get the cheaper rifles, cheaper AR pistols, when you fully load a magazine, sometimes it's a no-go depending on what kind it is. If it doesn't have steel lips on it, it will not go. So when you buy quality, you get quality performance out of it. But if you guys would like more content like this, hit the like, share, and subscribe, and hit the notification bell, and you will be alerted to more content when it drops fresh from me.